You guys, I know this is a bit of a different setup that we have going on today. Um, Welcome to my home, I guess. um, I just want to sprinkle in like different content every now and then. I can't have it just be Amber. I mean, for my own mental sake and for, YouTube's guidelines and whatnot. So I figured since our girl Feline is such an avid vinyl collector, that I will go through and show my vinyl collection. So this is like the setup that I have for all of my records and whatnot. I do have them alphabetized just so that, it's easier to find things. Editing Jordan here. For some reason my computer crashed and it didn't properly download all the files, so this is my second time editing this video, so don't expect a lot, guys, alright? So, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to splice in any, like, audio or anything, but I can still talk about, like, my newer albums and whatnot. I have like a little list that I'm going to go through, and I'll just talk about different ones. So let's start off right off the bat. These are some newer vinyls that I just got like within the last week. So this is Iowa by Slipknot. I don't really listen to Slipknot all that much, but just the cover, like, I love going in and getting vinyls that, like, just draw me into them. This is the limited edition translucent green vinyl. I hate the paper sleeves, but very pretty color. The record store that I go to, it's just down the road from me, like literally 2 minutes. It's called Sky Valley Records. If you're ever in South Jersey, I highly recommend it. It's a small shop, but they have so much. And a lot of newer ones and like rare older ones as well. All for a really good price too. Because I don't know if you guys have heard of, there's this record store on TikTok, Spin Me Round Records. They're over in Easton, Pennsylvania. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. I've done it twice just to go, because it's a huge store, just filled with records, mostly new too. Like they have so much newer stuff and like reissued albums, because a lot of the albums that I have, when they originally came out, vinyl wasn't really a thing like it is nowadays, So it's hard to find some things sometimes. The next album is Misadventures by Pierce the Veil. I bought this one just the other day also. I was in a metal mood, I guess. And this is on a white vinyl. A lot of the records that I have are like limited edition pressings. The other day I went in and I bought like 5 or 6, and all but one were limited edition pressings. And I didn't even know. And also, like, oddly enough, almost all of my metal, like rock albums, are all limited edition pressings. Didn't do that on purpose, but. And then another kind of older one, Pierce the Veil again, Collide with the Sky. And the dude that runs the store told me that this one is, like, they just stopped pressing it. So, it's a nice pretty blue. Also, like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of conversation around how records should be stored. I always keep Like I just cut the slit to get to the record, and then I keep the original like cellophane on it, put in a cover. But I always keep the, I do want to get like the rice paper sheets to trade out for these shitty paper ones. But I see a lot of people that, especially with like the limited edition vinyls, because they just like to show off the disc itself, you know, they will put it just in the back here. And like, yeah, it looks nice and it's easy to get to, you know, you just slip in and pull it out. But a lot of my records lean on things, and I feel like the sleeve, like the artwork and whatnot for the album, it gives like another layer of protection, you know? So I don't like to leave them in the back like that. But I do have one album, because it's a, not a licensed reproduction of a famous album, because I wasn't going to buy it from the original. Not going to give him my money. We'll explain that later. So, you know, I just didn't feel like it. But that one, because it's not like licensed or anything, it's kind of shoddily made, like the packaging and everything. So it's a 2 LP vinyl. I'll just pull it out now and just show you guys. Fuck it. Because it is one of my like more favorite albums, which is why I bought it. I'm not that big of a Kanye West fan, but I went to the season 3 show in New York City at Madison Square Garden when it happened. So it's just like a nice little, I don't know, kind of remembering that time period. But I keep it in the front here because it's so tight inside with the other vinyl. I just don't want them rubbing against each other. But yeah, that's Life of Pablo. Great album in my opinion. And like I said, there's just like a lot of memories attached to that album for me, being in New York and whatnot. And then the next one is A Tear in the Fabric of Life by Knocked Loose. It's another metal album. And it is limited edition, like Smoke. And it has the name, like, on there as well. These are all newer ones I bought. I already said that, yeah. That I got in the last week. Some of them I haven't even listened to. I actually have a lot of records that I haven't fully listened to. It happens. The next one is A Different Shade of Blue, again by Knocked Loose. Really love their earlier stuff. It's a lot heavier than the stuff that they do now. This one, it's hard to see, but it's like a blue, kind of hazily smoke. Cool. The next one that we have, oh, and I should say, I bought these two on Amazon, and then all the other ones, well, this one came from like a third-party seller. I don't even think in the United States. I had to order that one in. All the other ones came from that local record store that I told you guys about. So the next one is Kesha, Gag Order. I'm not too much of a fan of her newer stuff, I'll be honest with you guys. But I do like Kesha, and I figured, you know what? It's only 26 bucks. I'll support her in that aspect, I guess. Haven't really listened to it other than the single she released on Spotify, but I'll give it a shot, you know. Like I said, I like Kesha. I have another one of her records that's like so late middle school, early high school for me, Kesha. white vinyl. And then I have Gady Primes. I don't know. Grimes' first album. I know she's a little cringe, and I don't really like the whole Elon Musk shenanigan shit, but she makes really good music. And yeah, that one's just a normal. Got that one at the store. And then I will be talking more about this artist in like another section of the video. Lana Del Rey, Lust for Life. This was an expensive one for no frickin' reason, other than like it's a 2 LP. But this is actually the last album that I needed to complete my Lana collection. So now I have all of Lana's vinyls, except for her like Oranges, like poetry one. Didn't care for that. If I found it like somewhere really cheap, maybe then I would buy it. But yeah, so finished my collection. And then this next one I also ordered off of Amazon. It's Pony by Orville Peck. I don't listen to too much country, but the country that I do is like very gay. Dolly Parton and Orville Peck. Do I have any other country? I don't think so. That's about it. And then I have a large collection of Britney Spears as well. I can go through and show more, but these are just some of the newer ones that like I haven't listened to yet, but these are albums I listened to all the time when I was a little kid. I'm trying to get it like angled correctly for you guys. So there's this one. I don't know the name of that one, I'll be honest with you. Is it just Britney? Oops, I did it again. Britney Spears. Baby One More Time. And then I have other ones too, but I'll go through those with like in another segment. These are just the newer ones that I've gotten somewhat recently. And then just the other day I found Post by Bjork. Great album. I was so happy to find this because I do have some Bjork albums because I've just been kind of collecting until I find the ones that I really like. And that was one of the ones that I really, really wanted. And then just the other day I got this. It's the Black Dahlia Murder. Verminous. One of my friends used to listen to these guys back when we were in middle school. They always scared me a bit back then, but I listen to a lot more heavier stuff now. So that's like, they call it Nuclear Slime Green. Some of the names that they have for these, like one of the Bjork albums has such a weird fucking name. And then this will be the last one for like the newer ones that I have. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Okay, guys, I don't listen to this artist really all that much, and I just like her older work because it's nostalgic, you know? So I got Speak Now, the Taylor's version, and then I also have 1989 from her, but that's it. I'm not a Swiftie or anything. No shade if you are. Just not my gig. It is on this pretty, like, purple smoke vinyl. And I figured, you know what? Maybe someday this will be worth a lot, like, resale-wise. Because I do have some albums that are... If I were to go and sell them now, it would be very expensive. So that is the first portion of this video. So I think I'm going to hit pause for a sec and then round up the next batch. Alrighty guys, that took a minute for me to track down all these vinyls for this next category. So this next one is favorite albums, like the ones that I gravitate towards and listen to the most, because I do have like a pretty reoccurring selection depending on my mood at the time. Oh boy. So I'll just start over here. So we have, of course, I already showed this one, Life of Pablo by Kanye West. Ooh, slippery. And then I have a couple other albums from Amy Winehouse, but this is the Lioness Hidden Treasures. I think it's just like a compilation of her best songs and whatnot. I really love this album. It's just a great mood to put on sometimes. And then I have not all, I have 1 through 4 of Arca's Kick albums. If you guys know what those are, there is nudity on here, so I have to be careful. This was the more appropriate cover that I could show. All the other ones would probably get me flagged. But yeah, this is Kick 4, I believe, from Arca. Love her work. A great, like, trans artist that's really up and coming. I mean, they're pretty popular and pretty famous, but she's getting more popular and famous. But yeah, great albums, very like hyper pop kind of experimental music. And then I have Lemonade by Beyonce, and it is the yellow. Love this album. That came out like my freshman year in college, I think. And then Cheap Thrills by Big Brother and the Holding Company. It's Janis Joplin's band, so that's why I got it. And I listened to this one a lot. Don't listen to this one a lot because it's basically just weird instrumentals from Bjork, but this is the one that I was talking about with the really fucking weird vinyl color name. This one is called Slug Genital Colored Vinyl. It's basically just like kind of a lavendery gray. It's not really picking up the lavendery effect on here. But like it does kind of have like, you know, a slimy like translucency to it. I don't know. Just the name though, man. It's freaking weird. And it's got these like organs and shit on the cover. That one just like drew me in at the record store. And then I have all of Britney's albums except for like her newer ones that were very clearly done underneath the conservatorship. The only conservatorship album I actually have is Circus, because that's still a good one. And she's at least actually still singing on that one, unlike some of the later albums. But this is Britney Spears' Greatest Hits, My Prerogative. I had the DVD for this when I was like a little kid. I would literally watch it almost every single night. I was obsessed with Britney. But I love this vinyl. Good, like, throwback. And then I also really enjoy Britney Spears' Blackout. It's her more cuntier album, I would say. But yeah, that's a great one also. And then I have, this one I also store it in the front. It's this nice, pretty color, because this one is also a, I don't know what the right word is. Bootleg. It's a bootleg. There we go. And it's the Carters. The cover, since it's a bootleg, the cover is like really, really dark. So it's kind of hard to see. But it's the Carters. The album that Beyonce and Jay-Z released right before their On the Run 2 tour. And then I have Cher, Heart of Stone. Good throwback. I love this album. I love Cher. I got this for like $5 in a basement in New York City. So, and then another older one that I really enjoy. It's a like greatest hits compilation vinyl of Creedence Clearwater Revival. I like the vibe that they bring. And then I also have another greatest hits one. I want to get more of like the individual albums, but they are hard to find, you guys. Diamonds and Rhinestones by Dolly. And it is, of course, it has to be a gorgeous pink. Fragments of a Bitter Memory by Dying Wish. I think it's their first album. It's like a heavy metal band, really good. I play that music when I want to scare my parents when I'm at home. And then this is probably one of my all-time favorite albums, like ever. I have a signed copy of it up on my wall. It is We Fall by Emily Haney. I know it's a man. Emile Haney. This album just like means so much to me. I listened to it a lot during like really dark high school years. It's just a really beautiful album. Plus, like, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And then we have Fallen by Evanescence. Love Evanescence. Not really their newer stuff, because it's kind of like, I don't know. They give MAGA vibes. I don't know why, but it's on this gray vinyl. And then I also have The Open Door by Evanescence as well. Just two like great early 2000s rock music vinyls, albums, I guess. And then I have this one. I don't know the title of it, but it's this one by FKA Twigs. Mainly I bought it for the song 2 Weeks. That's like one of my favorite songs. Then I have Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Great classic album. This is also one of my all-time favorite albums, and it's the reason why I love Grimes so much as like just a musician. Nothing else. She's a bit of a whack job. Visions by Grimes. I bought this, like, it was within the first, like, 15 vinyls that I ever bought. I bought this one. And I didn't listen to it much back then, so, like, I didn't really care. As you can see, like, there's a bunch of marks on the back ring. I used it for an art project in college. But the front side, my favorite side, side A, still plays perfectly. And it's now become one of my favorite albums. So, but the only reason I became a Grimes fan is because I saw her twice in concert randomly, and she puts on such a good show, you guys. Like, you don't have to like Grimes, but if you ever get the chance to go see one of her shows for like really cheap, do it. Do it. It's so much fun. And then I also have Miss Anthropocene by Grimes. This is another favorite of mine. I think I have all of Grimes' albums, maybe excluding a few. But I'll show the other ones that I have in my... I have one category that's like artist collections. So like multiple artist vinyls that I have, because I have a lot of just like one-offs, you know? And then... well, I mean, basically showing them all here. And then I also have Art Angels by Grimes. she did a show for free in Williamsburg, and I went to that. So much fun. It was like a release album, a release show for this, and it was completely free. Probably put on by Elon, because that's when they hadn't officially come out as a couple yet, but they were together. I don't give a fuck about Elon Musk. We're not going to bring him into the conversation other than that. Hole, Celebrity Skin, great album. Great album. Courtney Love, say what you want about her, she's kind of iconic. She's fucking hilarious. She's very smart too, smarter than people give her credit for, and people ragged on her for having drug problems. Like, yeah, the love of her life, fucking, like, get a grip, people. And then, this is another one of my all-time favorite albums. Depending on my mood, I could put this on and it'll make me the happiest person, or I'll just sit there and cry. But it's Janis Joplin's I Got Them Old Cosmic Blues Again, Mama. Such a great album. Such a great album. And such a great musician. She's incredible. And then we're going to go over to this other stack that I have here. It's, we're just going to do it. So this one is another one of the very first vinyls that I ever bought, and still remains to be one of the more expensive ones I have ever bought. $75. It is from the original batch pressing of the Runaways debut album. I was obsessed with the Runaways for a minute, mainly because of the movie with Dakota Fanning and Kristen Stewart. So good. Go watch it if you can find it. But yeah, I bought this album. And it plays really well. This was printed in, I will find a copyright date for you guys, just a sec. And it is a bifold. Oh no. Open it up and it's got all of them. And it literally has their ages on the back, which, like, Fringe, Sandy West, 16, Jackie Fox, 16, Sherry Curry, 16, Joan Jett, 16, Lita Ford, 17. So they were all underage kids, literally touring the world as a rock group. It's wild. I know there is a copyright date on here. 1976. That's when the copyright for this was done. So, I don't know when it specifically came out, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't look up. I don't do that much research. But yeah. So this is also probably one of the older albums that I own as well. I definitely own some older ones because I have some, like, Bach classical music, stuff like that. But I don't listen to it all that much. And then another one, I know she's kind of been canceled, but, like, fuck it. I feel like vinyl is a more ethical way to listen to canceled artists because you can buy bootlegs, so that doesn't go to the artist, and you're not giving them streams on, like, playing platforms or whatnot. This album I love so much. It's such a good album. Why does she have to be a shit person? 1,000 Forms of Fear from Sia. Incredible. A little bit corny nowadays because of the Chandelier song, but all the other songs are so freaking good. And this is also another one of my all-time favorite albums. It's so hard to... Oil of Every Pearl's Insides by Sophie. Rest in peace. Incredible album, you guys. Go give it a listen, truly. It's definitely not for everyone, I will say that. It's another experimental trans artist. But She was also the producer for Charlie XCX for a while, right before her death. But I mean, I still get sad thinking about how the world lost such an incredible artist. The next album is Belladonna by Stevie Nicks. Good old classic. I do love Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. I really do. And then I also have a best of collection vinyl of Stevie Nicks, The Crystal Visions. This would also fall under a category for most expensive. I did not buy it at an alarming rate. It was only about probably $25 to $35 when I bought it. I got it at Urban Outfitters, I believe. But the Urban Outfitters exclusives from like years ago, they're selling good now. It's the clear one, because you know, Crystal Visions, it should be crystal, right? The average retail price for this now on eBay is about $350 to $400. So I don't know as though I'd sell pretty much any of my vinyls though, unless I had like a backup, because I do like to listen. I don't just collect them to like, you know, hopefully make a buck off them. And then I don't know the name of this album, I'll be honest with you. 77? I don't know. Talking Heads. Great album. And then I have Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, Cheek to Cheek. I really do enjoy this one as well, and rest in peace, Tony Bennett. I met him a couple of times in New York as well. Such a genuinely sweet man. And seeing his relationship with Gaga and whatnot, so sweet. I have their other album as well. Then I have, again, I don't know the name of this one, but it's by Bjork. And it's got this, like, you open it up, fold these down and up, and then it's a collection of, I think it's just 2 vinyls that are in there, but it's got like all these different colored sleeves and whatnot. It feels like an art book, you know. And I got this one for a really good price as well, because it's a relatively rare album. And then I also have the Homecoming album from Beyonce, of her Coachella performance. I believe this is weekend 2. And then I also have the box set like version of Renaissance. Great album as well. Bummed I didn't get to go see the show for it. It was literally in New Jersey on my birthday. Should have gone. Lady Gaga, The Fame Monster on a picture disc. Love this album. Love it. Riot by Paramore. And this one, no, it's just black. This is so great album. So nostalgic. It's literally like my middle school years. And then I have I Disagree More, because it's the deluxe album from Poppy. It's like her heavy metal album that she did. I love Poppy now that she's doing like really heavy stuff. And it's got this. And then it also has, this is so cool, you guys, and it's got some of the best songs on it. It's a shaped disc. Like, oh my god. Like, it's shaped. Did you see that? And I mean, it only plays on this inner ring part, but like it plays, and it looks so freaking cool. So slide that back in. Love the picture disc. Another picture disc. This is, yeah, I don't know why I'm being stupid. Purple Rain by Prince. Another great album. Then I have Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe. Love Rob Zombie. I love his music. I love his movies. Just so good. So good. And then this is another one of my rarer ones. It's not a colored vinyl, but it is the Braille version of Anti by Rihanna. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there is Braille like all over the back and all over the front. And then there's also Braille on the insides as well. It's very artistic, I'll be honest. But that's another top album for me. And then I have the 10th anniversary pressing of Pink Friday by Nicki Minaj. Very pretty, hot pink. Love Nicki Minaj so much. Listen to her literally. I mean, she didn't come out until I was in like 7th or 8th grade. So and then I also have Roman Reloaded. She seems to be just releasing these like as like the 10th anniversary or so comes along. And I really want Roman Reloaded, the Re-Up, that like little album that she did shortly after this one. I want that one so freaking bad. I was contemplating just having a bootleg made, just a one-off for myself, but I'll wait and see when the 10-year anniversary comes around if they will do a pressing of it, because I really want that album. It has some of her greatest songs on it. And I also have Rejoice by The Emotions. Got this for like $2. Great album, one of my favorites. And then Orville Peck, Show Pony. Just the vibes of his music are so like calming and so, I don't know, good like gritty country music calms me a lot. And then I also have the Beam Me Up Scotty like mixtape from Nicki that was just released not too long ago, I don't believe. What's this one? So this is Congratulations by MGMT, another band that I really love listening to. And I also have, of course I don't know the name of the vinyls. I think this is like Spectacle, the Oracle or something like that. But it's, or maybe it's just MGMT. I don't know. But it's like their main, most popular album. I really, really enjoyed this one. Then I also have E=MC² by Mariah Carey. Great throwback. This is like literally my childhood, listening to Mariah on the radio. And I also have The Emancipation of Mimi. That has like We Belong Together, Shake It Off, It's Like That. And then the other one, Touch My Body, Bye Bye, I'll Be Loving You a Long Time. Like, just great songs. And then Hurry Up, We're Dreaming by M83. This is another very popular album for me. I play it a lot. Very pretty orange. But I became a fan of them ever since their song Wait, and it's on here. Right? Yeah, Wait. Such a sad song. They used it in The Fault in Our Stars. And that's how I came to know about them. Not to say that this is one of my favorites, but it's one that I've just been playing a lot more recently. Blue Banisters by Lana. This is one of my all-time favorite vinyls, which, I mean, it's a remix album, so it's not the original, and I listened to this I don't think I've listened to the original album, I'll just say it. It's Chromatica from Gaga. I don't think I've listened to the original album in probably over a year, probably longer than that. Even when like I'm driving in the car and I'm listening to something through my phone, I listen to the remix album. Crystal clear. I love it so much. And I have Art Pop by Gaga. I do have all of Gaga's records as well. Great album. So ahead of its time. I can't show that. But yeah, nudity on the inside. Then I have this. It's a bootleg. I bought it off Etsy. It's also one of my more expensive vinyls. Art Pop Act 2. If you guys know anything about the whole Art Pop like situation and whatnot, you'll know how coveted an album like this is. And it comes, I'll tell you the songs on it. High Princess, Party Nauseous, Red Flame. That's the song that she did with Azalea Banks. Cake Like Lady Gaga, the Mugler version. Important. Brooklyn Nights. I Want Your Love. Do What You Want. But I believe it's either a solo version or the Christina Aguilera version. It's not the... I don't think it's the one with R. Kelly. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. It's a song that she did with Kendrick Lamar. I Wanna Be With You, which was what Dope originally was, and then Princess Di live. I think that one was filmed at the Born This Way Ball, though. And then I have Knocked Loose, Laugh Tracks. Great album. Very pretty vinyl. Another one by Knocked Loose. I'll be honest, I am not 100% sure the name of this one. Pop Culture. That's what it is. Another great album. Oh my god. You guys should see the frickin' pile just growing. And then I have One of the Boys by Katy Perry. I like her older stuff. It's very nostalgic and I think a lot better than her newer albums. I also want Teenage Dream. But this one is so it's got a yellow vinyl and then the other one is red. Pretty. Then, lastly of my favorites collection, I have Hounds of Love by Kate Bush. I have a bunch of other Kate Bush vinyls, but this one is one of my favorites. Alrighty guys, so the next category that I have is just most random. Just random ones that I saw and decided to buy because I thought it'd be funny, but I mean some of them I do actually listen to. So the first one is Merry Christmas from Mariah Carey. You gotta have some Christmas albums. Come on, guys. We're not all about death and horror here. Very pretty. And then I also have, speaking of death and horror, it's a memorial album, a highlight of speeches made by our beloved president. And it's John F. Kennedy. I got this for $3. Another one that I got really cheap for $2. It's a stand-up comedy special from Joan Rivers. One of my favorites. Grew up watching her on like Fashion Police. This one I found for $5 in the same basement that I found the Cher one in New York. Jane Fonda's workout record. It has her voice and like instructions on how to do the workouts over music. It's hilarious. And then the inside, it also has like physical instructions on how to do the exercises. And then I also have another Christmas album, Holly Dolly Christmas. You gotta have it. And then another kind of random one. Oh, there's another one underneath where you guys are. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show vinyl soundtrack. And then I also have the Cats soundtrack. Don't know why. I really liked this play when I was little. And I went and saw it on Broadway. And I was like, this is one of the worst shows I've ever seen. I've gone to like probably 30 or more Broadway shows. That one's the worst. What my most expensive vinyl is? I have a couple, but one is like the Stevie Nicks album. I got it for really cheap, and then it just blew up price-wise. See if you guys can guess. It's the Urban Outfitters limited vinyl pressing of Lana Del Rey Honeymoon. And I didn't know that this was as valuable as it is until like a year or so ago. But this sells for like $400 online as well. And then this next one, also another one of my most expensive is the Lady Gaga Act 2. I think I paid $120 for this, which is fine. It would have cost me $100 or more to have it pressed myself anyways, so I'll pay the extra $20 to have someone else do all the other shit for it, like get the files and everything like that, you know? And then this one, I can't show the cover, but it is, what's the name of this album? I don't want to open it and look, but I have to. I don't know the name. Okay, so this is Dawn of the Black Hearts by Mayhem. It's an older, like 90s kind of death metal band from Norway. I have painted over just like an outer slip for it because I don't want to look at it all the time. It's a image of the band's lead singer who unalived himself, and his other bandmate took a photo and they used it as their vinyl cover. Very graphic. I mostly just bought it for the dark history and the history that follows with that band. You should look into it. There's multiple movies made about them. But, I mean, it's got this long, like, really weird eulogy on the back. And the dude that found him, like, said that he took little pieces of his skull. And, like, the band members wore them as... It's so brutal and disgusting. But I paid about $200 for this. There's not many of these albums. I think there's only about 500 in the entire world. And these were released in the 90s, early 90s. But it is on... Gotta make sure that the middle image doesn't show. Just guess the name of this vinyl color. I'll give you a few seconds. Suicide Splatter. It's so fucked up. It really is. But this is my most expensive vinyl that I paid for. Got it on eBay. I was like, shit. Might as well. I think I can probably just pick you guys up for this one. And we'll... Ooh. This is some real Amberling core content right now, you guys, I know. So we'll just go through like the collections that I have. I have most of Adele's albums. This is going to be so hard to do. Oh my god. I have a bunch of Amy Winehouse. Like I said, a bunch more of Britney Spears, Circus, and In the Zone. And then up here I have, like I said, all... Oh my god. Ooh. Dead or Alive, this is a good album. Rest in peace, Pete Burns. Most of Grimes' albums, of course, like I said. Good lord. All of Gaga's albums. Even Joanne. All of... Oh my god, why is it so dark over here, guys? I was going to film this last night, but it was so dark. I was like, I can't. All of Lana's albums, which continues down to here. And there's so much, you guys. So much. Look at all the records that are just sitting there now. But, you know, I have, it's just a little under 200 right now. You know, growing by the week. I try to, like, gift myself at least one vinyl a week or so. Helps keep the energy alive, I guess. But yeah. So, that was just a quick walkthrough of my collection, really, guys. Like I said, I just want to get different content out there. I don't want it to be all just ragging on Amber, and I don't know, I have today off, so I figured, hey, why not do like a really long, kind of intense video, I guess. Intense. But you know what I mean, just more work than I averagely do when it comes to those freaking Amber videos. But yeah, you guys. That's that. That's my collection. Of course, there's a bunch of other random shit in there that I didn't show, but, you know, this is the bulk of my collection. And, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to talk about Amber too much in this video, guys. I really don't. But just as, like, a run-through, you know, we'll wait, see if our girl posts anything. I don't think she's going to. But we'll see. And until then, guys, take care.